Prime Time with Jess. Let me go ahead and put this link in here for Miss Synthia Rovida. Why is it not doing it? I'm going to wait for some of you guys to come in before I start. Hi guys. Hello. Just waiting for some people to come in. We're going to play Candice's interview and then we're going to talk about it. Talk about what Candice said on that East Idaho news interview today. I've only watched it once. Hey, Colleen. Hey, Care. I've only watched it once. Cynthia has watched it not at all. So we're going to be getting a live reaction from her. Hi, Cynthia.
Hey.
Watched it once. Cynthia has watched it. Ready?
Yeah.
Long time no see.
Yeah. We just hung up the phone. We were having
We
were listening to music.
We were having like a whole like music sesh. It was kind of funny.
It was a mood. It was a vibe.
All right. So we have 13 people in here. We, not a lot as usual, but that's fine. We're just going to go ahead and play the Candice video and then we are going to talk about it because I think she said some important things in there. But again, this is going to be my second time watching it and Cynthia's first.
Yes. It's going to be my first.
Your mic, you sound like really far away.
Is that better?
Yeah, you still sound like far away. Maybe it's my laptop. I'm usually the one with the audio issues.
Let me see. Did that make a difference?
Oh my. Of course, Jelly Roll went to resume. Yeah, you still sound like far away, I guess. Hi, everyone. Hi, Tamara. Feeling super duper. Hi, Izzy Rose. Izzy Rose already coming with the comments. So if you guys did not watch this interview today, came out today with Candice Cooley and East Idaho News. If you haven't, we're going to watch it together.
Do I still sound far away? I know Tamara
said that much better.
Much better? Okay.
Yes. So we're going to have to get through this little ad first. I should have did that prior, but
I hope I don't have to sit here and like hold it in my hand, my mic.
Okay, ready?
I'm meeting here with Candice Cooley.
Yes.
Dylan Round's mother, and Candice, I can't believe it's been nearly 2 months since he disappeared. Of course, if you're watching, you probably are very aware of this case, but we wanted to have Candice in here to get an update and talk about.
Cynthia, can you hear that well?
No, I really can't. I can barely hear it.
All right, I'm going to turn off my air conditioner in here because I feel like that like makes it sound really bad. So let me keep replaying and see if you can hear better. So
Jess, you just went chick mom. All I can hear is like it sounds like you're being fast forwarded.
sound like that?
No, now I can hear you.
Thank God. I'm so sick of this mic doing this. Sorry, guys. Yo, it's not 3 a.m. Yeah, it's daytime. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to do this again because I got to put my mic up here or you're not going to be able to hear it. So let's pull it back up. Okay.
So first of all, what can you tell us? What is new?
So what we know, there's stuff that we as well, just Justin and I as mom and dad know. There is stuff going on. I know everybody thinks it's become this big stall, and we're not out there searching, and we're not having search parties. But there's a reason for that. We have information that we don't want to be out there searching. We don't want people out there searching because there is stuff behind the scenes that just can't be released to the public right now. But there's a reason.
So that you're saying on the law enforcement side of
Correct.
things are happening.
Yeah.
We do know that there's two people that lived in the area or were in the area. Chase Venstra, who has appeared in court, and then we have the other neighbor who was James Brenner.
Correct.
So can you tell people who are just tuning in how those guys knew your son and about the charges?
Yeah, so James, I know him as Jim, he helped Dylan day work off and on. He helped him in southern Idaho take apart his pivot. He lived out on the property. He squatted out on the property when Dylan first discovered the area when he was like 15. He might have been 16 years old. So just a work acquaintance. I mean, when you're out there and you've only got 6 people around you, you kind of get to know everybody. So that's how him and Jim, it was just, he'd help him on the farm when he needed it. As far as Chase, I never heard Dylan say that man's name, ever, until all of this happened. I have no clue. I don't think they knew each other. I mean, probably just in passing from being in Montello and stuff. I did find out that Chase's son helped Dylan last summer on some day work, I believe when they were putting in the main line. But not Chase, and that was just one of the run into him in the Montello store and say, hey, you want to come out and help? I'm looking for help. But other than that, I never heard Dylan say Chase's name.
Okay, so James Brenner, it sounds like he's a felon, and so when the police went out to just serve a search warrant around the time that Dylan disappeared, they found weapons in his trailer. And he, as a felon, you're not allowed to own weapons. So he's been arrested. So he's been charged with possessing a firearm as a felon.
Correct.
And he's in custody in Utah. And then Chase Venstra also is in custody on firearms charges.
Yeah, and his charges, the last I know, and that may be the court appearance you heard about yesterday, was now the firearms that were in Chase's motorhome have been traced back to being stolen.
Shocker. And this has to be an interpretive pause because obviously I cannot play this all the way through without stopping it. But so she's now saying that, Chase's guns that were found in his broken down motorhome are stolen, which again, not too much of a shocker with his reputation as a thief.
And so now it goes a step higher because not only were you a felon with firearms, but you had stolen ones, which they're pretty sure he stole.
So you've got these two
Can
characters
you pause it again real quick?
there.
Yeah.
I do find it really interesting that there's like emphasis placed on James Brenner and Chase Venstra. So although you and I felt like there potentially could be like a third person, aside from Robert Aviles, maybe they have who's responsible.
Yeah, and the more I'm glad you made me stop it. Like I told you, if you want to say something, please make me stop because this is your first time hearing it, and I think you're going to hear more and more. It really sounds like to me that they have zeroed in and they know. Again, they're at the end. You'll see what she says, but okay.
Okay.
Do you think that they know what happened to Dylan?
So Chase didn't live out there.
Or Chase did not live out there, but he was visiting?
He would go back and forth between Montello and Ogden, and what we were told, and that's just what we were told, is he'd go over, steal stuff from Montello, hurry up, jump the border, go back to Ogden and sell it.
Okay.
That's what we were told by everybody, hence the stolen firearms.
And I guess, yeah, I appreciate you making that clear because the way I think that we understand it is he may have had contact with Dylan around the time Dylan disappeared.
Yeah.
So do you think that there's more here in connection to your son?
I believe so. I mean, Brenner has been enlisted as an official suspect. And the affidavit that was served to get the warrant on Chase.
Can you pause it again real quick?
Yep.
So she was mentioning how Chase is known to have had contact with Dylan. So I'm thinking that she's talking about that ride that was given on was it the 25th or the 26th?
25th.
Okay. And I know that we haven't discussed this on your channel, but I think I've heard other people saying it, and I believe some of the people that we talked to, locals, or some people that were like really centered around this case, saying that Chase was out in the middle of the desert when Dylan found him, and that Dylan was so unsettled by it because Chase was saying something about his 3 kids. He was looking for his 3 kids, and Dylan was telling him like they're not out here, and he's like, no, I could hear my daughter calling my name. And I mean, what was he on, really? Like, he must have been on something.
Yeah, and maybe that kind of, maybe, I mean, just picture that. Like, you're out there, you don't really know this guy. I mean, his kid worked for you for a little bit, but you don't really know him.
Mm-hmm.
You see him and he starts, like, oh, I hear my daughter. Like, can I use her phone? Can I do this? He has no shoes on, according to Dylan, according to that. So I don't know why that keeps doing that, but it's just gotta, it obviously, like she said, it rattled him enough
Mm-hmm.
to call not just one family member about this. So, and again, Dylan has been described to myself, to you over and over as a bolder type personality. So I feel like he probably wouldn't be someone that would scare easily.
Mm-hmm.
So for this to rattle him in that way, I feel like it had to be something like something serious, Oh my God. Okay. If this does not stop.
Our jams are playing.
I
We were
know.
totally jamming out before this, so
like turning on. Like, I don't know why. Okay. Can I start again? You ready?
yeah.
All right.
A homicide investigation. That was was in the affidavit. And
hold on, Cynthia. We got to back up a little bit so we can hear that all the way through. Okay.
In the affidavit that was served to get the warrant on Chase, they listed a homicide investigation. That was in the affidavit, and that's thrown up a lot of questions with people. So, I did clarify that with law enforcement. So Chase was set to be extradited to Montana, and they didn't want that happening. So not wanting that happening tells me something right there. We honestly haven't been told. But that's when they went in and got the search warrant. So in that affidavit, they put in, how'd they word that, conjunction with a homicide investigation. Come to find out, you can put anything you want in an affidavit for a warrant. None of it has to be true, but it's what you can put in it and kind of prove to get a judge to sign it faster. And that's what held Chase here.
Okay, so I guess we could summarize it by saying the police obviously believe that these guys might know something.
Correct.
Or that they're tied into it. But again, they have not to this point been charged. There's been some questions online that we can address with you. The first one being, why did Dylan go to this remote area, not in the state where he was living here in Idaho, in high school? Explain.
Can you pause it again real quick?
To this area.
Yes.
So we're catching a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
So what she just said there, and maybe they'll go into more detail about it, but it sounds like even though they suspect that he may be involved, at this time, they don't have enough evidence to charge him. Chase.
Yeah. Yeah, because, she just said that, I mean, we talked about that, them searching his property on the 12th, June 12th, in conjunction with a homicide. But, like they just said, and like we said on previous streams, that there's nothing been charged yet. So like Nate Eaton just said, pretty much, it's like they know something, but they haven't been charged yet. And that's just reality. So, but I feel like the pieces of this puzzle are all coming together, and she's going to go further into that. Like, so.
And, Dylan's poor family, like, to have to hear that in those documents, I'm sure they probably had a shift in their focus, I guess, because it's kind of like, there's a good possibility that Dylan's no longer living.
Holy crap, that just scared me. Hang on a second. He's in the house. I think he's taking a nap. Okay, I'm on a live stream, so you're gonna have to wait, okay?
Midwestern Crappy Man said meth bender, lack of sleep will do crazy psychological stuff. I completely agree with that. Chase was obviously on something the night that Dylan gave him a ride. Maybe like drug-induced psychosis.
I'm gonna have to mute for a minute. If you can just talk for a second, just hang on a minute.
CCK said, "Hi, Jess and Cynthia. What's up?" And then Vicky H said, "Jim's history speaks for itself, 100%. Like he has a very violent history, and in addition to the gun charges, but locals were also like really scared of him and avoided him. Even
Cynthia,
prior,
I'll be right back.
okay. Even prior to this situation with Dylan."
Sorry, I have to go in the. Sorry, I have to go in the house. One of Tyler's workers is here, and he is taking a nap, and I need to go in the house and like get him. So you
No
can talk.
worries. And then Autumn in New York, she said Candice mentioned that Chase didn't live in that area. He used to go at these local bars, squatters, encampments, and steal their guns and their weapons and then sell them.
Yeah, and I mean, I heard that so early on in this case, but I'll be right back.
And even before the whole guns thing, like he was known to steal tools, just anything he could get his hands on, and he robbed people's houses, according to locals. So he just was always stealing things. He has a penchant for stealing. Phyllis Mason said Salty and Kurt blaming this mother. Who else have they blamed? Yeah, I don't like anyone blaming anyone in the family, in Dylan's family. Nothing has come forward that would ever make them seem like they were involved with this at all. So I don't know why, when this family's going through the most difficult time of their lives, why people are speculating that they're involved. It's horrible. Obviously, law enforcement has suspected for quite some time that these other people that are in jail are involved, not Dylan's family. So it's I'm sure absolutely hurtful to his family while they're already going through this and they're still trying to find Dylan or find out what happened to him. People are just terrible sometimes.
She actually talks about this in this too. You ready to continue?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
A lot of people say we dumped our son out there. That is ridiculous. Dylan heard about this place from another gentleman that he worked with off and on, went and checked it out. It was perfect for him. He never had to worry about houses getting moved in on him. Dylan didn't want to go work for a big farmer. Dylan wanted to be a big farmer. So when he decided to do this and go out to Lucin, there's no competition. You got water rights, you got good soil, you just got to, make the alkali even out a little bit. You got everything you want being a young kid coming up wanting to make your own farm. Dylan couldn't buy ground here in eastern Idaho. Dylan can buy ground in southern Idaho. I mean, you 10,000, 15,000 an acre. He wasn't thrown out into the desert. He found a place he could farm, and he was helped. Everybody enabled and helped him to make that dream come true. Not dump him out in the desert. I mean, and it was perfect because when Dylan finally got enough stuff together and he was able to go out there and make a go of it and farm is when COVID hit, so there was no school. He didn't have to go to school. It was canceled. It was perfect for him. It was like everything fell into place.
And I think a lot of people might see the area and think that's not farmland because it's not lush brown soil with trees and crops. But he wasn't farming vegetables. He wasn't farming corn.
And see, that whole area was developed. It was 14 years ago they pulled out. And I've been told it was Simplots that were there. I have never called to confirm that because I have no reason to. But like where the grain shed was and where Jim's trailer was and all that, there's like 20 hookups for water, for power. That's where all the farm help out there lived in their campers in the summer. It's not like this place is
I mean, that kind of explains why Jim was there instead of at the property that he owned, those 10 acres.
Yeah.
You know, she's talking about all the water hookups and all of that. So, I mean, I guess you kind of would assume that with that camper trailer out there that he was squatting in. But
Yeah, and he also didn't have like, it seems like he didn't have a lot of money, so that camper didn't even belong to him. It was like a camper that was left there on the land, so it was very
Yeah.
convenient. And moving it would move him away from the water, and also would be expensive. So yeah,
Exactly.
It was convenient for him.
All right, continuing on.
Has never been farmed before. It's just when the last people left, nobody's even realized it was there to go out and farm it, and Dylan has. He figured it out.
So he went out there. The other thing that that a lot of people have asked is that he was involved in some romantic relationship
Right.
with one or more of the men out there.
Yeah, and you know, when this all started, any crazy idea, I mean, we were in such a frantic and we didn't have the help we needed. We're not professionals at this. We didn't know what to do. We listened to everything, and you know, that information came from a very unreliable source. There is no ground to it whatsoever. There is not a single person who actually knows Dylan that you can say that to that doesn't laugh. You know, it's all that rumor mill started going, and when you're a parent and you're not getting help, you go to anybody, the YouTubers, all of this stuff that we did that's got this fire started. We didn't know any better. You know, we were just trying to get it out there to get help, and so then it's just turned into a circus, and if people want to follow the circus, they can follow it, but that doesn't help us find Dylan. And none of it's true. You know, rumors and speculation is ridiculous when we have evidence and facts. So that's what us as a family are sticking to, and just staying out of the big circus all these other people have created that don't know any of us.
There were some questions too a few weeks ago. Maybe it was around the 4th of July, where you and Box Elder Sheriff's Office, and I believe Elko too, had said, please don't go out there and search.
Correct.
Some people were saying, well, if it was my kid, I'd be out there searching nonstop. Why don't they want help with the search?
Right.
Can you address that?
So
I think it's going to be important what she says here, because I do see the mob crew, and I don't think they're impeding on anything. I actually really like their drone footage and everything, but there are other people that have wanted to go out and search. And again, please do not do that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I don't know why this continues to do this. Anyway, sorry.
People,
But yeah.
People have talked about going to like the grain shed or Dylan's farm. That's not a good idea at all.
It's not a good idea, and I don't even think you would be able to do that anyway. The FBI is literally out there like pretty much every single day. So it's just, you know, do not do that. They do not want that. They do not want anything else. And when I say they, I'm not even talking about the family. I mean, I know the family doesn't want that either. She's talking about that, but the FBI themselves do not want that. You know, they are doing what they're doing, and people trying to come out there and, you know, bring a bunch of stuff to YouTube. No, it's just a no. And again, I am not talking about the mob crew. They are looking around Park Valley and things like that. I was just watching one of those videos earlier. I am not talking about them. So don't think that. But anyway, okay, so carrying on.
what people got to realize is the FBI and Box Elder have been out there, and they have been gathering stuff from the soil, from that immediate. They have been all over it. They've had more heavy equipment out there. They've had more dogs out there. They have been all over it. You take somebody who's untrained and just think they're going to go out there and be the hero. They're stepping over the stuff that the FBI and Box Elder County are now gathering, and Elko and you know, all these law enforcement agents that are now involved. Us going out there, civilians, we just ruined stuff. I mean, the whole crime scene, the whole scene, we call the crime scene, that was so tainted from the beginning because of how it was handled. Everything that's there needs to be preserved. And I am sorry, you're not going to go out and go walking through that desert and just stumble across my son, because we have been everywhere. Horses, dogs, air, ATVs, search and rescue. I mean, I think we had 6 choppers out there, multiple planes. I mean, we have covered it now. Now that we've gathered evidence, it's kind of taken a different direction, and we need to let it go that direction and not destroy what's left.
Dylan's birthday's coming up.
Yes.
20th?
20th.
On August 1st. And what is that like, knowing that, well, let's hope he's here.
Right, yeah.
For his birthday.
Yeah, hopefully he's here. We've had so many people reach out and asking, so that's why we decided to do the sea tribute.
We'll talk about that.
So we're going to do, we want to do.
I'm going to stop right there. You say what you want about this woman, but if you cannot see her holding back those tears and continuing on trying to be strong, then I don't know what to tell you, because I see it. Look at her face. I do that all the time. I'll get choked up and suck it right back in and go on with what I'm saying or doing. I don't think many of us have any clue what it is to be sitting in her chair. And I don't care what this woman, her divorce and this and that with Justin and all this stuff. There's a lot of things, okay? But we have not sat in that chair. We have not felt what she is feeling, what she's going through, or anything like that. So I've seen the most disgusting comments about her, and they're incredible. I mean, you talk about a missing young man's mother this way, who obviously had nothing to do with her son's disappearance. If she did, the FBI would not be telling her a damn thing because she's a suspect. But that's not the case here. So you might not like her personality or the way she goes about things, but listen, this woman has a ton of strength. I'm going to tell you that about her. I see it in her. There are so many people that probably wouldn't even be able to pull themselves out of bed. And so for her to have gone right to social media, right to the media to try to get her son's name out, it worked. It worked. And it also backfired majorly because so many people do not know how to conduct themselves on social media, that they've decided to attack her, attack Dylan's entire family, attack Dylan himself. I've even seen comments like he was a spoiled little a-hole, blah, blah, blah. I have literally seen comments about a missing 19-year-old young man. Just like that. People are so cruel and rude and ignorant on the internet. Just because you're behind a screen and just because you can say it doesn't mean you should. Anyway, carrying on.
I completely agree. And it's really sad because sorry, her life is forever changed.
Yeah.
Justin's life is forever changed. Everyone surrounding Dylan and their family, their life is forever changed from here on out. And holidays are going to come, birthdays are going to come. They're going to see their other children get married. And sorry, I gotta shut my camera off real quick.
No, you're fine. You know what? I saw Justin's sister, Brooklyn, today post 2 pictures of herself and him. And I had never seen these pictures before. And it was really sad. Hang on, give me a second, Synthia. Give me a second, you guys.
All right, you guys, I'm back. So Dylan shares a birthday with my youngest son. It just made me really emotional making that connection and hearing that connection. I didn't know that before, but this family is just going through so much. And I'm the kind of person that at this point in time where we are over 6 weeks into Dylan's disappearance, that I would literally probably be feeling like, what's the point of life at this point? You know, that's just me. I would fall apart at this point. She's so strong. She's still holding it together. And like Jess was saying, she's an immensely strong person, and she's still being strong. And that's because of Dylan. Because Dylan still has not been found. So you want to say anything, Jess?
Yeah, I fan probs at the moment, so had to like go outside for a minute. I didn't hear everything that you were saying. I just kind of caught the end of it, but yeah, I think I said my piece on that and what you were saying. But I do want her to continue on. No, son, not right now. Mommy's live. What? Why? Get out. Get out. Okay? I am sorry. You are fine.
So Graham James said at least people should stop judging the parents. I agree. Like, judging the parents and, you know, pulling out any kind of like thing that looks negative in their history, that's doing nothing to help find Dylan. And there's no point in bringing that up. They're already going through enough. People just need to stop.
Yeah, I agree. That's why, you know, like from the beginning, really, you know, I've said there was information passed to me about Candice that wasn't savory about her. You know, things that were being said and stuff like that. And I just refuse to say it, because if she was a suspect, if she was a Candice Wells, oh, I would be saying it. But she's not. This woman is not a suspect. She's never been a suspect, you know, so it's just, I like that and she's been saying, you know, in different interviews, facts and evidence, not rumors, not hearsay, not any of that, facts and evidence. And that's what they're going on. And that's what the FBI is going to go on. And obviously they definitely have some stuff. So let's continue on with the interview.
Sunflowers, because Dylan loved sunflowers. How big they grow. You know, he grew the giant ones when he was younger. So we were going to do those, but it's a little late in our season. So that's why we went with the Black Eye Susans, because they kind of look the same. And just we've got people from Australia to South America that have reached out. So we'll have Scotty's in Rigby, some of our local stores in the Hazelton Magic Valley area. I have some help in the Box Elder area. We'll put the packets together, distribute them as best we can, and then for those who can't get their hands on them, just plant something for them.
Do you remember what you did on his 19th birthday last year?
Just farming. Grain harvest. Yeah,
he was working.
Yep. Yeah, when he was younger, we'd do fireworks. I'd go to Jackson. We'd do fireworks all the time. But he was always in the fields. I mean, he was born during grain harvest, and he was always in the fields on his birthday. You know, find him and give him lunch. You could tell him, "Come on, son, I'll take you wherever you want to go." "No, I'm working." "Okay."
Well, I know when there's missing people's cases, in the beginning, you think of every scenario possible.
Right.
You know, are they alive? Are they dead? Where could they be hiding? Are they kidnapped? Whatever it may be. And when those court documents came out that said homicide investigation, and when you've learned more and more that the public may not know, what has the feeling been like in your mind?
Honestly, to have Box Elder switch it and say those words has been a relief, because what needs to be done is getting done. We pretty much all knew from the first day we went out there, and I know people think that's horrible to say, and nobody wanted to believe it, especially us. You know, Justin and I, we didn't want to believe it, but we both know our son, and we know nothing would take him away from his farm. Absolutely nothing. Not even for a day. He had to get the rest of that seed in the ground. Nothing would have taken him away from there. So it was just one of those, one of those gut feelings where you don't want it to be true. It's your parents' worst nightmare. But when you have a kid like Dylan and his patterns and his drive and his passion has been there, since he was a little kid, and that's his baby. We knew he wouldn't leave. There's no way. Not just not leave, but leave with hiccup. Leave without his boots.
Yeah, and I think that's important what she's saying. It sounds harsh, I guess, but really, if you see your kid and you know that he's a person of pattern, a creature, always wearing the same clothes, always wearing, boots and stuff. You see his truck there, he's not there. It's very obvious something has happened. Nobody can get a hold of him, nothing like that. It's just really obvious that something has happened. And, what she was saying is she was relieved that they changed it from just a missing person, because a missing person is not a crime. You can pack up any day of the week and leave your entire family if you want. It is not a crime. So, to have that switched to a homicide investigation, now they can start doing the real investigative work that they need to do. So I completely understand what she's saying. It's hard to hear, but at the same time, you want it done because you want justice for your kid. So Synthia, anything from you?
Yeah, I think that it just switching it from a missing person to a criminal investigation and now the homicide thing, it definitely intensifies the search. So
Oh yeah.
if he was still just classified as a missing person, I don't think that any of this progress would have been made. And if it were, it would have been the family making the progress on their own. So
I honestly think they waited too long.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree.
No.
It was like this June 16th, so more than 2 weeks after he went missing that they finally switched it to a criminal investigation. And who knows what evidence was lost in between that time.
Exactly, which is, it's kind of amazing that I still have trouble with those boots being there. I just really do. It just seems so weird to me. But anyway, okay, let's finish. We don't have much left of this, so let's finish it, and then we can talk about it all.
Day one. It was all right there.
So what happens now?
We wait. There's a lot of stuff being processed. So hopefully that'll give us a few more answers. There's been some stuff that has been processed that's given us some answers. And we hope one of these two guys talks.
And we know that so far.
We hope that one of these two guys talks. Again, she knows more than we do. She's in contact with the FBI. That's a very profound statement. One of these two guys talks. There has to be something with Chase Venstra. There just has to be.
Well, especially because there's 3 in jail, aren't there?
Well, there's a Villas that's in jail, which again, okay, let's listen to the rest because I want to get into that with you. Okay, hold on.
Dylan has not been found.
Correct.
But again, his birthday is August 1st, so they're packets of seeds, and you're asking people that are interested to plant them in his honor.
Yeah, and like I said, there'll be Scotty's and Rigby. They'll have a couple thousand of them, and they'll kind of be everywhere, and people can go to the Facebook page and request them, and you don't have to get the ones from us. Just we've got trees dedicated to them. I mean, we've got people have they love the kid.
How have you all been holding up? I mean, it's been 2 months. There's a lot of nasty commenters, people saying stuff online.
Yeah.
How has your family been?
We're okay. We're the comments, the focus that has come on to, especially me. That was driven by me. I'm the one who caused the fire to get the focus off of the negativity towards Dylan. I'm fine. People can say whatever they want. The people who know me. The people, like I said, that want to follow the circus, they should be ashamed. You're talking about a young man missing, and you are out there pointing fingers about the parents and their past and stuff that's just so ridiculous. Like, I abandoned my kids for 3 years. No. Like, I mean, it's astronomical, the stuff that people come up with and want to believe. The kids have been back and forth between me and Justin since we got divorced 15 years ago. Just all of this craziness that's been portrayed onto the family, it did what we wanted. It took it off at Dylan. I mean, these YouTube videos now, all this stuff that's going on, they don't even hardly mention Dylan's name. They're on a witch hunt for the family. So I guess if that makes people feel like they're doing something to help bring Dylan home, there's no sense in even trying to dispute it with them, because they got their mind made up, and it doesn't help any of us.
And you all have one official Facebook page.
Yes.
With official updates that you can follow.
Yep.
And we, of course, will continue to follow it here as things develop, and hopefully there will be big developments soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Thank you, Candice.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that is that. Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like everything that we've already been talking about is now it's kind of being confirmed with Venstra and James Brenner being the primary people involved, and people need to leave Dylan's family alone. They do. It's disgusting.
It's enough. It really is enough. I mean, if you want to, I would say people that, like, because I always tell you one day I'm going to make a documentary about this case. But I would say that people that really wanted to tell the entire story, there's not a problem with doing research into it and looking at Dylan. There is a such thing called victimology. I mentioned that before. But as of now, there's just no reason to go after these people. They are looking for their child. They are not suspects. The FBI does not find them suspects. The police departments do not find them to be suspects. They have one official suspect and then another sort of unofficial suspect. And so I want to, Midwest Crappy Man, his coverage of the Daybell case is great. Yes, I love Nate Eaton. Okay. He is fire. I love him. They're talking about the Vallow case, Synthia. Daybell case, Vallow case, same thing. But yeah, his coverage on that was fantastic. And it still is. But either way, back to Dylan. Robert Aviles. So Robert Aviles is in jail, but he's not being held on anything specifically, Synthia. Like, he's just there.
No, he's not. I've looked into it several times. I always search for new documents on James Brenner, Chase Venstra, Robert Aviles. I've seen progress on Chase Venstra stuff and on James Brenner's, but there's no documents for Robert Aviles. So I really wonder that if he does know something about what happened with Dylan, if he's going to be the witness, the protected witness. Could be.
I have to wonder, why is he still in jail? Why is he being held? Like, we don't even know why he's being held. And then, you have Venstra, who is obviously being mentioned pretty heavily by Candice. And again, the family knows more than I do, Synthia, that anyone does. They do. I feel like I know quite a bit behind the scenes. Synthia, you as well. But we still do not know as much as the FBI or as Dylan's family. I mean, that's just facts. So if they are looking heavily in that direction with Venstra and definitely Brenner, there's no reason for me not to think the same thing. Even though I still speculate on Don big time, and definitely Robert Aviles, because that was sort of, Chase had four-wheeler, I guess, that he got around on, but Aviles had the vehicle. So it's really weird that Robert Avilas is just being held in jail. Like there's nothing official that he's being held on. So again, we don't know if he's just like a witness or what is really going on with him there. So, Daniel Kelly, what about Don Hatley? Listen, I have questions about Don Hatley. I really do.
Yeah, I was just seeing that comment pop up, and I was going to mention it if you didn't, because it's fishy. I mean, how do you not tell the family something's wrong here, and you wait almost 2 days before you tell them that Dylan's still missing? It doesn't makes no sense at all.
You know, and then you hear people saying, which kind of throws me off a little bit, that they were searching Saturday night. Saturday is the day that Dylan went missing.
They were searching Saturday night. It was Don Hatley. And then the next day it was Don and Jim.
Oh,
and
yeah.
People were called.
That's a great combination. The official suspect in the case and Don Hatley are searching for Dylan. But were they letting the family know that they were searching for him, or what was going on there?
Well, the family knew. I guess the grandmother knew because she was the one that sent them out to go look. But I'm just trying to figure out why there was no sense of urgency on their part to be like, hey, something is wrong. You guys need to come out here ASAP.
It's really weird to me how there was no sense of urgency with anyone. Like it just seems so strange to me. You know, if his grandmother and his friend, his best, you know, his good friend in Idaho didn't say something, like when was somebody actually going to say something?
That's what I wonder. I think about that all the time. How long would it have gone unnoticed? Like, let's say that Dylan wasn't as close to his family as he was in constant communication with them. How long before somebody would have realized, you know, that he was missing if the family hadn't have immediately noticed?
And Candice said, like, early on, you know, if he didn't talk to every single one of them every day, but he talked to one of them at least every day.
Exactly.
So, you know, I'm feeling like he obviously probably maybe talked to his grandparents a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why his grandmother was like, hey, you know, something's wrong here. Because I think the last time Justin said that he talked to him was on Thursday.
Yeah.
So Thursday, Justin last speaks to him. That's the day after Chase Venstra ran into Dylan, and then Dylan goes missing on Saturday. And then 2 days after Dylan goes missing, Justin was out there with Candice. So it just, Angela Wilson. John waited until second time the FBI talked to him to tell him about the guns. Yes, and he didn't even want to give up the .22 caliber. Like, again, I said this in my last live stream, but I'm going to say it again, is that this happened twice in this case. This happened with Robert Avilas and Chase's guns, and this happened with Don Hatley and Jim's guns. Those four people, Robert Avilas did not tell the truth right away to the FBI, to the authorities, you know, that he kept one gun that was in this crawl space next to his child's room. And he told the cops, like, oh, here's all the guns, you know, and then they can't come back and question him. And he's like, well, you know, there's this crawl space like by my kid's room, and Chase may have gone in there and put a gun. I don't really know. And so the cops are like, okay, go in there. They find the gun. And then Avilas is like, okay, yeah, I put that in there. And Don Hatley did the same thing. Like, here's all the guns. Here's all the muzzle loaders that you're looking for. That's it. But then they come back to him too. Like, where's the other? There's another gun. Oh, yeah. It's a .22. But I felt like this belonged to me. Like, who do you think you are? Like, it did, you know, this happened twice. And it's funny that both of the people that it happened to, Jim with Don and Chase with Robert Avilas, you hear what Candice is saying. They obviously are very focused on those two people. what are the odds? You know.
And do you remember early on, like watching other YouTube channels, people were speculating about, well, maybe he was shot, but there would be shell casings. You know what's really interesting? I was thinking about this last night.
Yeah.
Muzzle loaders, they don't leave shells. There's no casings, right?
You're so smart.
It's like
Yeah,
they
I love
loaded
you.
the black powder, and I'm like, well, even if Dylan was shot, and this is pure speculation, we don't know exactly the mode of him going missing, but there wouldn't be
I feel
shell
like
casings.
people are going to start talking about guns in the chat because I'm not going to lie. I am not a gun expert. I know that muzzle loaders are like, you know, difficult to shoot. You got to be kind of close and all that kind of thing. So I don't really know. It feels like if I was going to do that to someone, I would probably want to use the 22 that Don didn't really want to give up. I don't know, but you do make a really good point.
It leaves less evidence, so I wonder
Really
if
does.
maybe whoever did this, if Dylan was shot, was smart enough to use something that wouldn't leave casings.
That's a great point. It really is. What is this, Kathleen? We are hunters. I think I missed your last comment there. What is this one? Arizona Traveler. Well, I like that. Jim and Don are who I suspect. I think Chase might be in custody for that other body they found. They found 3 bodies since they started searching for Dylan. Yes. Yes, there's been several that they have found. So we just, we found it really weird that Dylan goes missing the 28th. The FBI executes a search warrant on Chase Fenster's property in conjunction with a homicide on June 12th. That's just really strange. Now you have his mother, again, who knows way more than we do, or at least more than we do, talking about those 2 people. Just her speaking about them as much as she has been should be a pretty big clue to some things. So, Woody Wood, I knew I would have some gun experts in here. Muzzle loaders are accurate about 2.5 football fields away. Really?
Oh, that's a good distance.
Yeah, I didn't think they were that accurate. I thought you had to be like pretty close. 2 football fields, that's 200 yards. 2.5 football fields, that's 250 yards. Pistols, not so much. Or pistols, so not much. Muzzle loaders are that accurate? Can I just Google that? I mean, I'm not like calling you a liar. I like to fact check stuff. Muzzle loader accuracy. Let me see. It says, how accurate is a muzzle loader? This is the first thing that came up. For whitetail hunters, shooting inside 100 yards with a scoped inline, pretty much any pair of 50 grain. Blah, blah, blah. So it's saying within 100 yards. I didn't think they were that accurate. I mean, we kind of like moved on from them a long time ago for a reason. But I don't know. I mean, if you're the muzzleloader expert, I certainly am not. So let's see. Midwest Crappy Man. My CVA, I can shoot 300 yards, but the pistols are a joke. I've killed deer with it at 150 yards. 250 easy. But do you just have like a great muzzle loader? Because I've always heard that they were so inaccurate and that you had to be like pretty fairly close. Even though I think that Synthia, it's just a great point to bring up is that they wouldn't leave shells. But then you also have to think about, did Don really feel like this gun belonged to him, that 22 caliber, or was he hiding it like, he didn't want that found? I don't know.
Yeah, that was my other thought on that too. Is like, why was he hanging on to just the 22? Those guns would have been really loud though. And someone was saying maybe it was a knife because someone in the comments, maybe it was a knife because it wouldn't make any noise. So I mean that does make sense too if people were but it's so desolate out there as well. Well, I guess that would actually mean that it would be heard for sure. People would be like, I heard this at this time, you know what I mean? Like, don't you think that would wake people up out there just because the sound would travel so much?
I'm sure. I mean, it's so flat. Like it just feels like sound would carry so far.
Yeah.
Brent Keys, people are talking
And then
about.
remember, Jim's trailer was right next to the grain shed, like
Yeah.
50 feet away. So it had to have been something that was, well, he's the primary suspect. So
Yeah, I think you do bring up a good point. You definitely got chat going here. Brent Keys is saying 100 yards can hit an apple pretty easy. They are accurate. Okay, listen, I'm going to take you guys' word for it because, again, I am not a gun expert or a muzzle loader expert. So if you guys have, experience with these sorts of guns and have used them and you know about them, who am I to tell you you're wrong? I've never shot a muzzle loader, so I don't know. Kathleen Hutchison, not many people live in Lucin. Yeah, there's very few. But even so, I mean, the people that live out there, something happened to Dylan. And no one in Lucin has come out and said that we're aware of, or that, I do have a contact in Lucin, and they say they didn't see anything. So I don't know. There was one gentleman that was talked about. I was not given his name. And even if I was, I probably wouldn't say it. But I don't know if I should say this, Cynthia. He lives out there in Lucin. But he hasn't been talked to by the media. He hasn't anything like that at all. He doesn't want to be. And he may have seen some stuff. So that's just, yeah, that is what it is. Cynthia, just like the sulfuric acid, now you got me on the gunpowder. Now you've done it. You've done it again. I'm definitely get more emails from who about this. So, but out there you can shoot anytime, so you hear gunshots a lot sometimes. Okay, so are you saying that it's just not uncommon shoestring? And shoestring, can I ask you? You're usually in my live streams, and I like seeing you. Do you live out in that area or around that area? I'm just curious. Tamara, what is Tamara putting what's July 27th, 2022?
court date.
Oh, okay. I was
Court
like, what does
date.
that mean? Chase at court today. Yes. Yes, he did. Chase at court today. I believe they put it off until July 2022. Hang on. Let me just check. Glory, I do believe she texted me about that. And I actually, I think she put it on her own Facebook. Yeah, what she texted me about? He had court today? Because this was yesterday, I believe. Anyway, Glory said the hearing was postponed after it finally started. They are working on scheduling another and are waiting on working out a date with the U.S. Marshals. So it sounds like they are attempting an in-person hearing. Bad news for remote viewing, like Skype and stuff. Yeah. So, oh no, I guess that was before. Okay, so I think I'm a day behind. Avila's at court today? Did you know that, Cynthia?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh.
I'll have to
Belinda.
go look and see what documents were filed.
Yeah, Belinda Charlton. Robert Aviles had court today. Do you know what for, Belinda? Because we did not know that. See, you always learn something from chat, Cynthia. I swear to you. We have super sleuths out here that they don't want to channel. They don't want to be on, like, showing the mug, but they have info. So I love people like that. Tamara? Yes, I did a correction 27th. Blame it on my kitten. We're blaming everything on Tamara's kitten for the rest of the stream, actually. I feel like the 22. Oh, Angela Wilson. Let's see what Angela has to say. I feel like the 22 might be more important than we think. The reason he didn't want to give it up, but when he thought they was onto something, he figured he'd say he was holding it for Jim. I don't know. Yeah, I think they do know. I do. I think the FBI is onto some things for sure. Cynthia, do you think that we'll see arrests in this case?
Arrests? More arrests? I think it's
Do you think
possible.
we'll see a resolution to this case, I should say?
I think it's possible. I think the police are on the right path, but I do think it's possible that there are more people involved. If we find out that 22 was more significant, then that means that Don would have known why he should hang on to it and not give it over if it were evidence.
Yeah, and Aviles hanging on to that other gun for Chase. What's the significance? Anything to do with Dylan or something else that Chase did? But there's a reason I feel like, especially Aviles, even more so than Don. Because if Don's giving this reason of, well, I feel like that gun belonged to me because that trailer that Jim's over there squatting in, the people that own it and live there, they owe me money. So, that this is my gun now. Like, that's his little story. But Aviles doesn't really have a good reason as to why he hid that one gun in the crawl space. Like, why would you put all the other guns together and then that one, and then you say this lie? Oh, there's this crawl space that he could have did it, and then you just go ahead and tell on yourself that, yeah, I put it there. Like, why do that? Like, it does sound more like a witness to me. Like, I did this, I lied to you, but now I'm telling the truth. Yes, I put it there. It was me. Enoch, FBI are homing in. I believe they are.
Don's also being called a witness in the documents, even though it took him the second time to fess up to having that gun. So maybe it's just a situation where Aviles and Don would end up just being deemed witnesses, and whatever else more they knew, maybe get like a plea deal or something. That's all speculatory. Like, we don't know if Don's going to be arrested or if Aviles is going to be charged with having any involvement. We don't know that. We're just speculating. But those are possibilities.
I said it last live stream. The first one to sing gets the deal.
Mm-hmm. And then that brings me to that question right there. Someone said, do they charge Arizona Traveler? Do they charge people in Utah with murder without a body? That's something that we've talked about a lot, not on your lives, but just on the phone. It makes it more difficult, I've heard, but it's not impossible. So
it's definitely not impossible. It has happened. You might want to look at cases. What's her name? I think it's Heather Elvis. To this day, her body has not been found, but the older man and his wife are both sitting in jail for 30 years. I mean, it was a long road to get them there, and they were never convicted of her actual murder, but they got them for other things with her case, and they both have been put away for 30 years. So it's not impossible for a conviction. It just makes it harder. And this is why you're hearing Candice say,
yes,
one of them needs to talk.
Exactly. Because that that's where it does progress a situation without a body, is when you have someone admitting their involvement, then even without a body, you know that something happened.
Yeah, I mean, if they would come out and say, "Hey, I did this," and blah blah blah, now you have a full confession.
Mhm.
I don't see why they wouldn't give up the body if they confess, but it just, I've been feeling that way, that they've got to talk. Like they have to talk something, and if not for anything else, if they took this young man's life, your life, Jim and Chase, with all your nonsense, how much more life do you two have to live? Dylan had his entire life in front of him. So the least you two, especially Jim, because he's an official suspect. So, but the least you could do is just tell this family where this young man is. Let him be buried properly. You don't have the right to take a life. I don't care who you are. Well, I have to say that if somebody did something to my child, I might be in jail. I'm just saying. Like I've talked, Cynthia, I've said to you about Justin Rounds, coming off very angry. I feel like I would be a Justin. Like whatever it takes at all costs. Like I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I'm going to sit in front of your house. I'm going to do all of that until somebody tells me where my kid is. Oh.
Yeah.
Belinda Charlton. Jess, I have screenshots and the web address. I could send you if I can get your email. Absolutely. Robert A. is in Elko County Jail. Charges for him don't show what he's there for. Weird. Yeah, this is what we were saying. He's being held there and there's nothing being shown about why. Why?
And all three of them were transferred to separate jails too. So that to me was very important, because initially I believe all three of them were in Box Elder. Is that right? Or no, I think Chase was always in Davis County. So James was transferred, and then so was Robert. I'll have to go back, but
yeah, no, I know for sure that Avilis was first booked into Box Elder, and then he was switched over to Elko.
Yeah.
So,
and then
but there's my email. If you want to send me whatever you have, that's fine. Thank you, Pink. I guess I'm going to really go for this because I forget every damn live stream. But one of my mods always reminds me. Pink, thank you so much. If you guys have enjoyed this live stream, please hit the thumbs up button. It does help the channel, and I appreciate it. So there's my little pitch for the thumbs up. Personally, I need to start coming up with witty things like Mr. Ballin. Like if you see the like button, like put Legos all in front of it. Hopefully the like button will step on every single one of them, and whatever. Like he always has something crazy to say about the like button. But it always feels weird when I do that. Oh, I did want to give a shout out to somebody was really, thanks, Tamara. I know I'm not good at that. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at like begging for likes and stuff. Like I always feel like if people like the live stream, they're just going to like it. I don't know. But last night, I was not live. And was I talking to you, Cynthia? I was on the phone with you.
Probably. What time?
When that Cash App came through.
Yes, you were on the phone with me.
Yeah, I think I was. And I was so surprised, and it was such a nice gesture. Somebody sent me $100. And I don't know who this person is. It randomly came through, and it was the nicest. It was a $100 Cash App, and it said thanks for your work, Dylan Rounds. So to that person, thank you so much. Oh, was that you, Christ Wrath? Is that you? It is not you. Or what? But that was really, really nice. And to the person that it was, I'm not going to show that part, but yes, they did do that. I don't know how clear that is, but it really made me feel like Synthia knows that all of the hours and hours and hours that we have put into talking to people and gathering information. Synthia herself, she has paid for documents in this case. And, I'm not saying that like, hey, give Synthia money, but she did that of her own accord. But it's just that the time that you see us on screen and the time that we actually spend on this case, there is no comparison. You see a tiny sliver. But honestly, this case for us is every day, almost like
8
so
to
much
12
time
hours
in
a
the day
day, and sometimes
that our
more.
families
Yeah.
are complaining. Our families are complaining. And we've both even had to say, hey, we have to kind of step back for a minute. Our children are like, hey, our significant others are like, hey, like you're putting so much into this, but we care. We do. And so when that person sent that, it really did make me feel good. And it made me feel like, um, all of those hours were not wasted. And I say that because when you do this YouTube stuff, people really don't know what goes into this. And even your own family members. So like my significant other has been giving me a lot of stuff about all of this. And so last night when that person did, I'm going to get emotional. Shh. Last night when that person randomly did that, I took it down to him. He was down in the basement. He was putting up like this basketball thing for our son. And I said, hey, look, and I really liked that the person put like for your work for Dylan. And he smiled at me. And I said, it's not all for nothing. All of these, here I go, Cynthia. All of these hours, all of these conversations, all of these things that have happened is not for nothing. I feel like every time I get on a freaking live stream, I'm like crying now about this case, but it's just so much. Oh, Christ's wrath. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. A $20 super chat for Christ's wrath. I don't know why I get emotional like this. This has just been a tough case, I think. I appreciate everything both you and you guys do. I just wish you would give us as subscribers some warning for your going on live. I'm sorry. I will try to get better at scheduling my lives. You know how random I am, Christ. And honestly, I seriously, like Synthia knows this, that when I'm not live, it's about this case. It just really is. Synthia, if you had to like just take a guesstimate of how much time, what would you guess? Honestly.
Well, as I just said a few minutes ago, probably like 8 to 12 hours a day, and sometimes more. That's what we've been putting into it. And
yeah, and I feel weird even like asking people to hit the like button. So like I can't be like, here's my PayPal, here's my Cash App, here's this, here's that. Give me money and feel sorry for me. I chose to do this. I understand that. But it has been a lot of time. I do want to read you guys something nice about Dylan. I've reached out to one of his friends from high school because if everyone remembers, there was no friends from high school. But I reached out to him on June 24th, and I said, "Hi, blank. My name is Jess. I'm covering Dylan Rouse's case. There's been a lot of stuff said, bad stuff about Dylan and his family. One of the things he keeps saying is that Dylan had no high school friends at all. It looks like you were one of his high school friends, were you? And this person said, yeah. Um, Yesterday, last night. So I sent this on the 24th of June, and this person literally just texted me back last night. And I said, so, thanks for responding. I said, were you good friends or associates? He said, not the closest of friends, but friends nonetheless. So I sort of asked him, I said, I would really like to know more about Dylan himself. Was he funny? Was he outspoken? Was he quiet? Those sorts of things. And this school friend of his said, well, I worked for him for a while, so I did see him often. He always spoke his mind. He was definitely funny. And if you really needed him, he would be there, no doubt about it. He was always good to me and always made sure I was doing good. And I said, that's really good to hear. I said, did you work for him in Lucin or Idaho? And this person said, in Idaho. So we went on to just have like a little conversation. But one of the last things this person said to me is, I can't imagine going through that as his parents. It's heartbreaking. And I said, yes, I think it's heartbreaking to anyone that cared for him. And he said, definitely, but especially as a parent, to have your child disappear and only be able to do so much to try to find them. He said, I wish you luck in your investigation, and I hope I could give you the information. I hope I can give you the information you were looking for. And I thanked him because I really just wanted to know what he thought about Dylan. What kind of person was he? And he gave me that. And it is, it is nice to talk to people like that knew him, that worked with him every day. And hi, babe. No, that's okay. I'm still alive. So I'm over here crying about Dylan again. So yeah, I just had a little meltdown a little bit, but I'm okay. So, oh, what is this? Christ's wrath. We want to help you. We want your cash app. Oh, Lordy. It's in my about section. I usually don't like plaster it all across the screen. And that's another thing. The person that did send that to me last night, they had to look through my about section on my channel to find it because I never put it up on screen or anything. So it was just like really, really kind. And I really do appreciate that. Yeah, it was really unexpected, but it's like those kinds of things that make you feel like, okay, I'm really not doing this all for nothing, and not that even if I never got $1, it's still not all for nothing because we're talking about a human life. That's what we're talking about.
The guy I just did a job for, he just discovered a dead body.
I heard you saying that to Amigo, and it really freaked me out. I had no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, so the guy that you worked for, that's so weird. We can talk about that after. I'll be on that case next, babe. But thank you, Belinda. Graham. Let's see what Graham's saying here. Hi, Graham. Welcome back. God, please change Jim Brenner's mind. Yes. Whatever you believe in, whether it's God, it's you're spiritual, you believe in good vibes, whatever you believe in, send those out into the universe or to God or whoever that Jim Brenner tells where Dylan is. I think
if we find out that James and Chase are both involved, my honest opinion is that Chase would be the first person. And I only say that because of what we know about Jim. I mean, I really hope that he does have a shift in how he feels and he does speak up. But he even while he was served in jail, refused service. Like he was served documents while he was in jail and like refused the service. So it's kind of like this guy doesn't want to talk. He doesn't, obviously. Jess, you there?
I am. Tyler is saying something to me right now about his own workers. So yeah, I am here. Yes, I'm listening. I'm trying to multitask and listen to Tyler and you at the same time. And you have a husband. You have so you know.
I totally understand.
Yeah, you know how it goes. Christ Wrath. Jess, do you have a photo of you with sunglasses on your catch up? Yes, that's me. I think. I don't think I ever changed that picture. Yeah, I think that is my cash app picture. You know, I don't want to. I get really weird about this stuff. Like, but yeah, I have like a white shirt on and sunglasses. But just let me say this, please. You know, the court documents that Synthia obtained, they're not free. They're not free. And yes, she did buy them of her own accord. But I do want to say that, you know, she has definitely put in a lot behind the scenes with this case as well. And those court documents that she bought and paid for that we all got to see and review and look at, that was $150. You know, she's not asking for that back. But I do sort of feel a little bad that, you know, I got a super chat and I got you know, that cash app last night and Synthia hasn't. You know, I don't know. I don't know how to say this, Synthia. You know, I get really weird about stuff like this. So like, and I know you do too. So I don't know how to like, I don't know. Do you have Cash App, Cynthia? I don't even know if you do.
I do.
Do you?
I don't even use it though, so I don't even know what my username is.
You have
I
PayPal?
don't use it
A lot
very
of people
often.
seem to like PayPal on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
have
you're
PayPal.
like, yeah, like you're not even saying it. But do you want to say it? Or I mean, it's I know I'm putting you on the spot here and I get just as awkward as you do. Like I don't know what to say. I'm like, thank you so much. And I don't know what else to say. But
It's so odd too, because when it was you that when you received that cash app, I was like, Jess, like, do you realize how much time like you've put into this? How much time we've been on the phone? How many people we've talked to behind the scenes to learn information.
tons.
And yeah, so it's awkward. But then now I'm over here like feeling awkward. We're talking
You know how
about like,
awkward it feels? You're like, you know, if people start asking for that, I always get like, yes, my Cash App's in my About section. And it does feel very nice to have your work recognized. Um, but it just feels like I don't know what to say. I get so awkward. Cynthia, you feel free to do your impression of Will Ferrell. I don't know what to do with my arms.
what do I do with my hands?
I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah, it's like that's how you get like so
Ricky Bobby.
oh my gosh. Christ Wrath, you are the sweetest. Thank you. I sincerely appreciate that. If you don't mind me saying, oh, you're sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Christ Wrath just sent me $50. And I really appreciate that, Christ. You're such a great supporter to me. You always are. So, Cynthia, Pink, why are you laughing? Because me and Cynthia are being awkward. I love Pink. She laughs at everything. Like she laughs at everything. So like I could tell the corniest joke right now. Pink would laugh. She always does. So and I love her for that because I feel like not such a cornball because she laughs. You know. Okay, what do I do with my hands? What do I do with my hands? I don't know.
We should make that just like a running joke. So anytime it gets awkward on a live, I'll just be like,
Christ, I don't have a family, so I try to help. Aw. We are your family, okay? If anybody feels awkward, put your hands up. Christ, let's all do this together, okay? Um, no, you are definitely a part of this channel's family. So, and I'm not just saying that because of the Cash App. You know that I have felt like that for a while. You're a great asset to my channel, and I really appreciate you as a subscriber. Pink, you as well for laughing at all my corny jokes that nobody else laughs at. Hey, Karmic, how are you? I hear the same thing about the news in Idaho. Supposedly said Chase charges upgraded to homicide.
See, I'll have to look that up because I'm wondering if that was like just reference to the documents that were filed weeks ago. Remember when it was talking about the June 12th thing and there was like it said May 12th in the documents and then we found out that it was actually June 12th. So
Yeah.
maybe it's those documents that they were talking about. Unless there's new ones, I should probably go look.
Yeah.
Do you want me to check that out right now?
If you want to, yeah. Because you know what? I wonder if Glory knows because she's on this. And let me see if I can call her up and bring her on and if she knows about this because she's the court lady. I'm going to mute. I'm not going to put anybody on a live stream if they don't know about it. So just hang on tight, guys. Okay, guys. So I have Gloria and Dylan all online. Glory, I want to read this comment to you and then just get your response from it. This person is saying, I hear the same thing about the news in Idaho. Supposedly, Chase's charges upgraded to homicide. Was it on this morning? They were looking for it. So
I haven't heard that. I heard Candice talking in the interview about the search warrant. They said that the search warrant was in conjunction with a homicide, and she was saying, well, I guess they can say anything they want to in those things, which isn't really true. But I think that's where the rumor's coming from, because she was talking about the search warrant.
Okay, so no official upgraded charges to homicide that you're aware of.
No, I talked to the court this morning, and they said the hearing would be Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. It would be a live hearing this time, and so no Zoom, and so I plan on going.
So no Zoom, you're going to show up in person like you usually do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
okay.
And I just try to see if I can get some answers if I catch the prosecutor out in the hall.
Yeah, you never caught him, did you?
No, because it was a virtual hearing, so they weren't even in the court building.
Okay.
Well, I should say they might be in the court building because it used to be the U.S. attorneys were in the same building as the court. I'm not sure if that's the case now. It's been 30 years, or
yeah, that's. But that's what I was thinking with Chase's charges. Like, we had not heard anything about his charges being upgraded to homicide. So, not saying that that's not, that couldn't be fact, but as far as you know, I mean, I know that you show up to the court appearances and all of that. So, that's why I'm reaching out to you, because if there's anybody that would know, it would be you, most likely. So.
The one thing I did hear was that it turns out those weapons that he had in his possession were stolen, so they are upgrading the charges on possession of stolen weapons. as opposed to just weapons by restricted person. So
Okay.
it's a completely different set of charges that he'll have now.
Right. Okay. All right. I just wanted to clear that up because people in chat were sort of like asking that or saying that.
No, I'm pretty sure there would have been an alert on my phone had they done a homicide charge on Chase. She was just talking about the search warrant and saying that it did say mention homicide in there. So
Yeah, that's
the origin of it, I think.
okay. Thank you. If you want to come up on panel, you can, Glory. I am live. But I thought I would just call you and ring you in and have you clear up some stuff for us. So I appreciate you. As always, you are the best insider with the court stuff because you physically show up there.
Well, to me, that's exciting.
Yeah, and you're great at that. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and get off, and I think,
Okay.
but I do appreciate you answering my call and answering the question.
Sure.
So, all right, I will talk to you later.
I'll come over in a few minutes after I get a little caffeine here.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
all right, bye. Okay, so that was Lauren Dellin. If you guys are familiar with her or not, she is a paralegal. She does show up in person to these hearings. She's filmed what she could, but she usually is a pretty good person for information like that, and Synthia as well. Synthia, did you look and find anything?
I didn't find anything new, so I think that it is in reference to the documents that was that on your channel that we covered those events. I can send them to you again, and we can look at them again if you want.
Did. No, we covered chases, court documents and stuff like that. We covered them, and
it does reference a homicide investigation.
Yes, in conjunction.
Yeah, it hasn't been linked publicly yet with Dylan, but I mean, as it sounded today in that news interview, the family does feel that it's linked with Dylan.
Yeah, I think that's really clear in Candice's interview today that, again, they know more than us, even though we have spent tons and tons of time talking to so many people. They still are going to know more. They're the family. They are in contact with the FBI. So, I would definitely follow the evidence, not rumors, not hearsay, not any of that. Have I found out a whole bunch? Yes. But if it's not going to directly link to Dylan and what happened to him, I am not releasing it. And that's just the way it's going to go. Maybe one day, again, if I ever do a documentary about this case and get much better at editing skills, I'll tell the entire tale of all of it. But as for now, the focus is on Dylan Rounds and finding him and, being clear with what the FBI is saying, what the family is saying. Again, I will please encourage you guys, anyone thinking about any other creators, encouraging people to go out there and look, please do not. This is not the FBI's wishes. It's not the family's wishes. You could be hurting evidence, tampering evidence, not even knowing it. Please leave this to people that do this for a living, okay? I am just an amateur sleuth that has talked to people. I am not the FBI. And neither is anyone else on here that I know of, unless the FBI is secretly watching my channel. But either way, we're not that. And if they're going to ask that of the public, we need to respect that and respect Dylan's case and what is happening in his case. If you want him found, let them do their. Cynthia, do you have any parting words before we end this live stream?
Oh, no, I completely agree with you. I mean, it doesn't help find Dylan to go trample all over potential evidence. It doesn't help at all. And also, if that's a crime scene, could you imagine like being Dylan's family and having people go out to gawk? You know, it's horrible.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. If I was in close proximity, I probably would go out. But the second that the family said stop and the FBI said stop, I would stop. I would never cross those sorts of boundaries in an active investigation. I mean, you're like, who do you think you are? Honestly,
Yeah.
you know, if you don't have those sort of credentials or ability to do that, you have no business out there doing that stuff. And again, I am not talking about the mob crew. Okay, they are not impeding on areas that they shouldn't be. I love their drone footage. I think it has been helpful. I've watched it, and I like what they're doing.
They've been extremely respectful to the family as well.
Extremely respectful to the investigation, to the family, and they still have, hey, Glory, and they're still, you know, trying to help in any way they can, but they are not doing things that they should not, and that's important. Crisis wrath. So many people have gone out there and picked up rags and junk, thinking it was nothing. It could have been valuable. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the problem. And this is why they're saying stop. You know, what may look like nothing to you could be everything. These FBI agents know what to look for. Us regular, you know, second class humans over here, we don't. We don't. You know, we don't have that background. So I mean, I don't think we're idiots or anything, but you know, if you're going to send me out there to collect evidence, I'm going to be like, okay, I would probably pick up a rag and be like, well, that's trash. And it could be something completely valuable, just like Christ's wrath is saying. So very important to listen to what they are saying. And here's Glory saying hi to everyone. Glory, we were about to end the live stream. So, but I still thank you for answering that call and clearing that up for us.
Thank you, Glory.
Yeah, thank you both. And yes, I do live out here. Okay, I thought you did, Shoestring. Thank you for answering that, and thank you. Who is those two? What is this? They aren't trained professionals, those two. I'm not sure who those two is, Karmic. But I know you'll have an answer for me, okay? Because I know how you are. Graham James. I like Graham. I hope the law enforcement will bring justice to Dylan. So do we, Graham. So do we. Graham always has really good comments like that. He was actually, I don't know if my last live stream or the live stream before that, but he was talking about like planting a tree for Dylan and stuff like that. So
Dylan is who this is all about. This is all about Dylan.
Exactly.
Nothing else outside of that matters.
Nope. Lauren Dylan, yes, he has said so much it could impede their investigation. Yeah, I think they're commenting to someone else. I think they mean the mob crew. Who? Mob crew is sending their drone footage to a company for analysis. And I missed Becky Muller's. I want to see Becky's comment. Jess, I think we all just want to find Dylan. And it's hard when it comes to the red tape, but it's so important. People don't realize it could let these people get away with whatever they did. Thank you. Thank you for putting that in the best way. That they do not realize that, you know, and some people might go out there with the best intentions ever. But if you don't know what you're doing, very easily screw things up. And you don't want that. So I think we are going to wrap this up here, guys. Kathleen Hutchison. No, Kurt being told not to do any more interviews. Yes, he was. That is true. from what I'm being told, the FBI has told Kurt no more. So, again, that's what I'm being told. So, no more interviews, no more nothing. Christ's wrath is leaving me. Well, it's dinner time. Go, good, not Justin, Cynthia, and everyone else. I love him. He cracks me
Thank
up.
you for joining us.
Yes.
Enjoy your dinner.
Yes, thank you guys. And we're going to go ahead and hop off. We're probably like 40 minutes over, Cynthia. But thank you guys for being here with us. Christ's wrath, thank you so much again. That was really kind of you. And just we will see you guys next time.
Yep.
So
Thank
hopefully
you.
next time we go live, we will be able to report that charges have been laid or Dylan has been found. That is what we are praying for, that Dylan is found. That is the most important thing. So,
Yes.
okay, yes, and please hit the thumbs up button, guys. I appreciate it. Cynthia, I'll probably talk to you very soon. So,
All right.
and you guys as well. I will see everybody later. Bye for now.
Have a good night, everyone.